Hi guys, welcome to the Paper Crafts Club.
Hi.
Today we are going to make paper roses, and stay tuned for next week for giant wallflowers. Alright guys, so these are the materials that you're going to need for this craft. Tape, glue, paper, scissors, a ruler, pencil, and a compass. If you don't have a compass, then you can just find a circle shape somewhere in your house. That's what I did. So you're going to need one green piece of paper for the stem, the leaves, and then the red piece of paper for your rose. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your ruler and you're going to measure out 15 centimeters, a 15 by 15 centimeter square on the red paper. Okay, I'm going to draw my lines. 15 by 15. Now, if you want to make it yours bigger than mine, then you can just maybe do 15 inches by 15 inches. But I'm doing centimeters because I want to make a smaller bouquet of roses. So instead of tracing the square on the green piece of paper, I'm just going to put them side by side to cut it out. Now, also, I already made one rose here, but I want to make two more. So I'm going to fold this in half. That way I don't need to retrace 15 by 15 again. Okay, I'm going to go like that. And then same thing with the green paper. Fold it in half. Okay, and then put it underneath. Okay, then you can cut out everything together. That way you don't need to make a lot of work for yourself. And then you have all of the squares you need. If you only want to make one of these, one rose, then you just need the one square, the one red square and the one green square. Okay. So then you're going to get your red piece of paper and then your circular shape. If you have a compass, you can use your compass to make the circular shape. Or I'm just going to use this as my template. Okay, so go ahead and trace your circular shape onto your red paper. Again, I'm making two more roses, so I'm going to pile the other piece on top so I don't have to worry about tracing again. And then you're going to cut out the circle shape that you just traced. Okay. Now this part gets a little tricky. What you want to do is you want to take your scissors and start cutting in a circular motion, but try to keep the same size all the way around as you cut and work your way to the center of the paper. See, it gets tricky right there, but you just want to keep that same size going all the way around. And then stop. So it should look like this. Okay? Then from this end, the narrow end, you're going to start rolling towards the center. So just make tiny little rolls, keeping it even like that, and roll all the way until you get to the center. If you need to pause this along the way, feel free to pause the video so you don't get far behind. Okay, so now you're almost to the center. And now you can kind of hold the top and the bottom and release. Okay, there we go. And then it should look like something like that. Now on this part, I'm going to put some glue. For video purposes, I'm using hot glue, but you guys should be using this because it's safer. Okay, but you're just gonna have to let it dry. I'm doing the same thing with the one that I made earlier because I haven't had a chance to glue it yet. So the one I made earlier looks like this. So they may come out looking a little bit different. This one looks bigger than this one. Okay, but that's okay. Right, and then same thing. Cutting in a circular motion. Okay, and then rolling from the narrow end. And then again, putting glue. Now, since you guys should be using the Elmer's glue, then you should probably put this down with something kind of heavy, but not too heavy on top. Maybe a stapler, just so it can dry. Okay, so you can leave that on top until it dries. Mine should dry pretty quickly because of the hot glue. All right, next, so we have all 3 of our rose tops ready to go. So then I'm gonna make more stems. So the way you make the stems is by turning this into like a diamond shape like that, and one of the points should be pointed towards facing you, and then you're just gonna roll. Make tiny little rolls all the way to the other end from one end to another end. Okay, that's going to be our stem. Okay, then I got to this point. You can either use tape, or if you don't want it to show, you can use glue. But again, when you put it down, you're gonna have to put something on it to hold it down until it dries. I'm just gonna quickly put some hot glue. I wouldn't recommend you guys using hot glue because it can burn you. It's burned me on a couple of occasions. Okay, so that is good to go. Now with the stem, I'm gonna cut off the top like that. Okay, and then I'm just gonna cut 1, 2, 3, 4 lines so that it comes down like this. And then we're gonna be able to stick the rose top on top. Okay, let's put that down so it can dry while we're working on the next one. Remember, start from the corner facing you, roll all the way up. When you get here, put the glue. Hold it for a few seconds and then put something on top of it so it doesn't move and it can dry. Mine is almost dried because of the hot glue. Okay. And again, cut off the top, just a little piece of the top because that's the point. And then you want it to be flat across the top. Like that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts. Fold the paper down. Like that, and the stems are done. Okay, the next thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to trace a 4x4 square, 4x4 centimeter square. If you're using inches, then do 4x4 inches. All right, so 4 by 4. Okay. And again, you don't need to trace that more than once. You can just simply fold your paper down. Now I'm gonna need 2 for each. So I'm gonna need 6 of these squares. So I'm just gonna fold this paper again. I'm going to keep folding it until I have 6 squares. Right now I have 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to keep folding it until I have the amount of squares that I want. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out the square that I traced. Okay, so I have all the squares that I need. Now what you're going to do with these, you're going to fold them in half together. Okay, and then the folded part should go out that way. And when you're cutting, you want this part to be facing this way. You're just going to cut a little square shape at the bottom almost, and then go around. These are going to be our leaves, so you want to make it into like a leaf shape. Okay. When you open it, there are your leaves. You might even want to make them more fancy by going like this, but you don't have to. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. And then I'm going to cut one more. On both sides. So, like I said, you don't have to do this part. This part is a little hard. Okay. So these are my leaves. Okay. And the first set of leaves I didn't do that at all. I just kept it simple. Okay. Finally, you're going to want to cut 2 more of these. So actually, I didn't even need 6 of these because I just realized I already cut 2. All right. So you're going to need a 4 by 5 piece of paper this time. So I'm just going to use one of my scrap papers to do this. 4 by 5. And then go ahead and cut that out. It's going to be a rectangle. And then you're going to cut little triangles out of it. So it's going to almost look like grass. Like that. And same with another piece of paper. Cut the 4 by 5 rectangle. And then the triangles. Okay. Those are done. Now you're going to get your stems. And you're going to put glue. You're going to put glue all along here because we're going to stick our rose tops on. You want to try to really center that rose as much as possible. Okay. You could do it that way too. Whichever way works better for you. All right, then well, not the final step, but the next step, you're going to take your grassy looking pieces and put glue along that part. And then just wrap this like that. I don't know what happened to my other piece. So I'm just going to use the scrap paper. And if you want to make yours a little longer than 4 by 5, you can. You can see what happens and just cut off any excess that you don't need. Okay. Again, put the glue along the bottom. And then go ahead and wrap this around. Oh yeah, maybe the longer piece didn't work so great, but we can learn along the way. So if it doesn't work, you can rip off whatever you don't need. Okay, that didn't really work that well, but the other ones worked a little bit better. Okay, then you're going to take your leaf, and with the bottom part, you're just going to kind of give it a little bit of a bend. Okay. Like that, and then you're going to put glue on that part. Again, you want to bend the bottom part so you can put the glue and then stick it onto your stem. Okay. So I'm going to do that with all of these. And if you don't have glue, you can use tape for this instead. So you do have options. Okay, that was the last one. So there you have it. There are your roses. You can give these to someone special, or you can decorate your house with them. What I'll probably end up doing is using them in this office space, and I would just put them inside of a vase. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like inside of a vase. Give me. Now, I did get this vase a while ago at the Dollar Tree. You could put one inside, Or maybe you can just use all three inside. And then it can decorate your space. So I would love to see how you guys decorate your space or how you decide to use these. So please post your pictures or send them in to me if you don't know where to post them. And next week, you guys are going to learn how to make giant wall flowers.